Hello everyone and welcome to the One Stop Co-op Shop. This is Colin and today we are going to do a top 10 cool mini or not list. Purely because I have exactly 10 cool mini or not games. So I thought I'd rank them from 10 to 1. So without further ado, let's jump into the list. You can see if you have any of these and if maybe you're interested in some of them. We'll start with number 10. Number 10 is Scooby-Doo, the board game. This is a 1 to 5 player cooperative game. You are the different characters in Scooby-Doo, Shaggy, Scooby, Fred, Daphne, any of those. I loved that show as a kid, so this was an instant buy for me. I wanted to play it a ton with my kids, but I've got to wait till they're a little bit older because how the game works is you're choosing a card, you're going to draw two and choose one of them, and it's going to have an initiative number on it. That's going to determine when you get to activate during the turn, and then when you're doing things for your turn, you're moving across different areas, you've got text you've got to read. So overall, I love the game. I actually think it's a very light and very family-oriented game. It's just not to the point where I can play it with my kids effectively without having to tell them too much of what to do. So that's why it's as low as it is. When they get just slightly older, I think this will move up on the list. I do love how the game looks. I do have the pre-painted version and it looks awesome. And of course it's cool mini or not, so all of the components are great. Yeah, and so this one is definitely a recommend if you love Scooby-Doo and you've got kids maybe in the 7 to 12 range. I think they will love this. Number 9 for me is Trudvang Legends. I still am really enjoying the stories. I've gone through 3 full chapters and a side quest. I think there's a lot of potential here. I only have the core set right now and there's supposed to be more coming, but the enemy variety is definitely lacking. And although I do love the bag building, I just don't love how they dealt with damage and all of that in the game. It just doesn't seem to work very well when you have such a narrative driven story. I'm not sure what I would do to fix it, but I am still keeping it because I want to play through the whole story and I want to see what the expansions provide, but I'm not sure if it's going to be a keeper long term. That's Trudvang Legends. If you're looking for a narrative campaign and you love Trudvang as a theme, it's a definite for you. If you just want a narrative campaign where you're pulling some chits out of a bag, go ahead and check it out. That's Trudvang Legends. Moving to number 8, this is Besieged. So this game, a lot of people didn't love because it's really hard, but I'm actually okay with that. I like hard games. They also came out with some revised rules which definitely help. And if you love castle defense games, I don't know why you can't like this one. There are times where certain things happen and you're just not going to win. It is dice chucking. You've got this messenger that you have to send out and bring back and protect them, and it's hard, and a lot of times you lose because of it, but that's kind of why I like it. I think it's cool. It looks great on the table. The only thing I wish I had is a 3D castle. That would be epic. But overall, absolutely love this one. It's one I'm not going to get rid of. Besieged, if you like castle defense and dice rolling, this is for you. And of course the components, it's cool mini or not, right? They look fantastic. My next 2 are both Zombicides, and I'll start with Zombicide Invader as my number 7. I love space games, I love sci-fi, and so that's why I've kept this one. I also have it fully painted, so when you have a fully painted game, you're gonna generally keep it. I love how it looks on the table. The rules are nice and easy, so I can play with kids or adults. I do feel like the abominations in this game are a little bit too easy to defeat with the concentration fire, and they haven't quite figured that out even in any of the Zombicide games, how to make them threatening but also not where you have to dig for a specific item to defeat them. But overall, I still love this one because of the theme, and it's a Zombicide. So if you're sitting there, beer and pretzels, it's great to just chuck some dice, destroy some of those Xenos. Yeah, it feels more like a sci-fi Xeno game than Zombicide. And for me, I'm okay with that because I'm not a huge zombie fan in general. So that's number 7, Zombicide Invader. Number 6, we'll move to Zombicide Green Horde. This is the hardest Zombicide I've played. It's basically Black Plague 2.0. They came out with that a little bit later. Oh, these enemies are harder. They split and add additional enemies when they have to split different movements. Yeah, it is hard. It's fun. It looks great on the table. I even found some 3D components to give you the 3D look while you're playing. Totally recommend that. I love how this one plays. It is crazy to me that I'm keeping these 2 and I sold Undead or Alive because I do think Undead or Alive is better, but it's not painted. Both of these 2 are my painted versions and they're the 2 that I'm going to keep for Zombicide. Moving to number 5 is Xenoshift. This one is totally out of Cool Mini or Not's normal zone. It's cards only. Yet I find this game so much fun. Yeah, it can sometimes drag on, but overall, I love the idea of you have a row of your soldiers and they're trying to survive through this onslaught of aliens. When you do play cooperatively, you can help other players by putting some of your soldiers in their zone. This is a deck builder, but you have ways to auto-call cards, and when you call those cards, it makes other cards reduce their cost, easier to buy them. I love that idea. It's unique, it's fun. I do feel like overall it provides a great challenge. Dreadmire is my favorite one, but I have both Onslaught and Dreadmire, and you can also play the app version, which a lot of people enjoy. I just prefer physical cards, so I still have this one. It's one I'm going to keep. Xenoshift, both Dreadmire or Onslaught. That's number 5. Number 4 is Marvel United. Now, I only have Marvel United. I didn't get the X-Men. I'm not backing the new one because I feel like I have more than enough with Marvel United as it is. It's a great kids game because it's quick to play, but when you add in the expansions, you add in all the stretch goals, you can have some really hard boss battles. I love how they were able to make all the bosses feel slightly different. Also, the heroes have different cards in their starting deck, and it's so easy, right? You just play one card, do the actions that are on your card and on the card that was prior played, but then you can help each other out with that. It's so fun. The cooperation is so high in the game. I just can't get enough of that. Marvel United, it's a great one if you're looking for something that's quick, something to play with family, and you can even play it with gamers as long as you get all of those stretch goals, get a lot of the different components. Play Sinister 6, that's a hard one. Do the Infinity Gauntlet campaign. I have both of those on the channel, you can check them out. Marvel United, that's a great one, number 4. My number 3 cool mini or not game is Massive Darkness 2. This is your wonderful epic dungeon crawler, opening doors, finding monsters, defeating them, completing objectives. You have a campaign mode if you have the expansion for it. Really fun, nice and simple. It's light, but the great part is each of the different classes of heroes have a whole mini game that you have to complete when you're activating them. So all of a sudden your turns become so much more interesting than I'm going to run in there and roll dice twice to hit something. You all of a sudden have to, if you're the wizard, you're trying to determine which spell you want to have activate. If you're the berserker, you're taking damage and using it as rage. If you're the druid, you can change to different forms, and depending upon which forms you are, you've got different benefits or detriments. If you're the necromancer, you're trying to defeat enemies and turn them into skeletons. Oh, it's so cool, and each one is unique. I feel like without the mini games, that game is a flop because it's too similar to the regular Massive Darkness, which for me, I did not love. But adding that mini game with the basic dungeon crawling is a really good fit. It's one that I love. I've got about half of it painted. I want to paint the whole thing. Massive Darkness, number 3. My number 2 cool mini or not game is Project Elite. I can't get enough of this game. I think I've played it over 50 times. I'll have it popping up so you can see how many times I've played it. This is a real-time dice chucking, alien killing game where you're just trying to get objectives, get out before the aliens overrun you. And oh, it is so much fun. You only have 2 minutes of a real-time phase. You're rolling your dice as fast as you can, trying to kill those aliens, but every time you roll an alien face, and it can be anyone that rolls that, all of a sudden one alien's gonna move forward. And so that alien you're planning on getting, all of a sudden it starts moving away and you're going, what the heck? Oh, I love it. And then you find different equipment. You have different abilities that you can try. You've got boss aliens. Oh, it's great. Every time I play it, I have a great time. It's one of those games where I bring it to every gaming convention or every gaming group that I play with because we can just pull it out, play it, put it away. It doesn't take long and everyone has a great time. Project Elite, my number 2. And finally, my number 1 cool mini or not game, Cthulhu Death May Die. I just can't get enough of this game. I have the game fully painted. Every single investigator, every single foe, every single boss, thanks to Bill. They are so much fun. You can combine an episode with a boss, and then you play specific investigators, any that you want. You put them together, and every time it works. Some are easier or harder than others, but overall it is so much fun. You're slowly going insane, and as you go insane, you gain more abilities. But if you go too insane, you actually lose the game. And then once you complete the episodic requirements to complete the episode, Then the boss shows up. You have to fight the boss, but you can't just defeat him one time. You have to defeat them 3 times, and each time they add a different abilities, and oh, it's so cool. And almost every game I play always comes down to the wire. It's chucking dice, and you're adding more green dice, you're going more insane. It's wonderful. I love this game. I will never get rid of it. It's one that works great for families and for gamers alike. It's not too long, which I also appreciate. Cthulhu Death May Die, high recommend, my favorite Cool Mini or Not game. So there you have it. That's my top 10 Cool Mini or Not games. Let me know what some of your favorites are. I know there's a lot of competitive Cool Mini or Not games, and I just haven't played many of them. Curious which ones you like. As always, thanks so much for watching our channel, and I'll catch you at the next stop.